So I was talking to some friends recently, and they were telling me about how they got into Shangri-La Frontier, and I was like, oh, that's like one of the new isekais, right? Because I hadn't watched it myself, but I'd heard of it and kind of knew the gist. And they were like, no, it's not really an isekai because they can leave the game whenever they want, and they go and they play a whole bunch of other games, so they're not really stuck in it, and there's not a lot of the tropes. And I'm like, I think that's still an isekai. We got into a big discussion about what constitutes an isekai and what doesn't. And for me, it comes down to, does the show primarily focus on another world? Like, one of the foundational isekai stories was .hack, and in that story, you only got, like, the one character who's stuck in the video game. Everyone else leaves and goes and lives normal lives. The video games are entirely about people who can leave and go lead normal lives. But the mystery and intrigue of the series entirely centers around what's happening in the virtual world. The way I see it, what makes an isekai beyond all tropes and the settings and the agency or whatever, is the bulk of the show taking place in a world other than reality? And I think Digimon demonstrates this very well. Digimon Adventure, Digimon Frontier, and Digimon Cross Wars, all totally isekai. The plot revolves around the kids being sent to another world. They have to figure out how to survive there and how to get back home. Meanwhile, Digimon Tamers, Digimon Sabers, and Digimon Ghost Game are all more urban fantasy. You do have arcs where they go to another world, but the bulk of the show is about how Digimon are crossing over into the real world and them having to deal with that and kind of work their everyday normal lives around this weirdness happening. Where things get interesting is with stuff like Digimon Adventure 02, which kind of evenly splits the story between the real world and the other world. And I would argue that Adventure 02 is still an isekai, because the majority of the plot does take place and focus on the digital world. So they can't really solve anything by staying in the real world. Their real world lives are not the primary focus of the story. It's sort of like they're leading a double life. But this is kind of right on the edge, and I would understand someone saying that no, it's urban fantasy. In that same vein, I would actually say Code Lyoko qualifies as an isekai, even if they are mostly in the real world for the majority of the show. It is about them exploring this weird computer world they found. I started posing this question to a bunch of friends, and it was interesting hearing varying opinions. I have a friend who thinks that if the other world you go to isn't real, like if it was virtual, then it's not an isekai, which disqualifies Sword Art Online and .hack, which are foundational isekai, so that was really weird to me. And then I had a friend who actually found an academic study of the different subgenres of isekai and sent it to me, and I was going to read it before I recorded this, but I don't know where it went, and I apologize, Jen. But I'm curious, where do you personally draw the line, and what draws you to the whole genre of isekai?